The Bible reveals to us that the spiritual world is organized and full of celestial beings created by God to execute their purposes. Among these beings, angels stand out as messengers, warriors, worshipers, and administrators of the divine will. However, these angels are not all the same. There are different categories with specific functions, forming a true celestial hierarchy. Get ready to dive into a biblical and theological journey, exploring each angelic class. Don't forget to leave your like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. 1. Archangels. The word archangel comes from the Greek archangelos, which means chief angel or main angel. The Bible mentions only one archangel nominally, Michael. Judges chapter 1 verse 9. But the archangel Michael, when he contended with the devil and disputed the body of Moses, did not dare to pronounce a judgment against him. But he said, "The Lord reprimands you." Michael appears as a military leader of the celestial hosts. Revelation chapter 12 verse 7. And there was a battle in heaven. Michael and his angels battled against the dragon, the first princes. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia resisted me for 21 days. And behold, Michael, one of the first princes, came to help me. Michael is the protector of the people of God. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1, and plays a key role in the final events. Although the word archangel is in the singular, the use of his angels suggests that Michael leads an angelic army. 2. Cherubim. The cherubim have appeared since the beginning of the biblical narrative and are directly linked to the presence and holiness of God. Despite popular culture, many times representing cherubim as baby angels, the biblical description is quite different. In Ezekiel chapter 10, the cherubim are shown as powerful beings, with the appearance of fire and multiple wings. They also keep the glory of God and execute judgments. Genesis chapter 3 verse 24. And having cast out man, he put cherubim to the east of the Garden of Eden, and an inflamed sword that walked around, to guard the path of the tree and of life. These beings are also present in the Ark of the Covenant. Exodus chapter 25 verse 20. The cherubim will spread their wings above, covering with them the propitiatory, and their faces will be turned to each other. And they are described with wealth of details by Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 10 verse 14. Each had 4 faces. The first was the face of a cherub, the second the face of a man, the third of a lion, and the fourth of an eagle. Cherubim are frequently associated with divine glory and presence, representing the holiness and power of God. 3. Seraphim. Seraphim are mentioned only in Isaiah and appear as burning beings that serve before the throne of God. Isaiah chapter 6 verses 2 and 3. Seraphim were above him. Each had 6 wings. With 2 they covered the face, with 2 they covered the feet, and with 2 they flew. And they cried out to one another, saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." His name comes from the Hebrew root seraph, which means to burn. This indicates that they are beings full of zeal and passion for the holiness of God. Their main function is to worship and proclaim the holiness of the Lord. When the prophet Isaiah has this vision, he is immediately confronted with his own human and sinful condition. This contrast between divine holiness and human limitation is a recurring theme in the scriptures. 4. Angels. The word angel comes from the Greek angelos, which means messenger. The Old and the New Testaments are full of accounts of angels interacting with men, bringing messages, and performing the will of God. Messengers of God. Luke chapter 1 verse 26. And in the 6th month was the angel Gabriel sent by God to a city of Galilee called Nazareth. Protectors. Psalms 91 verse 11. Because your angels will give order to your respect, to keep you in all your ways. Servants of the saved. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 14. Are not all of them ministering spirits, sent to serve in favor of those who want to inherit salvation? The angels fulfill divine orders and act on earth according to the will of God. 5. Principles. The principles are mentioned by Paul in the letters of the New Testament. The Greek word used is archai, which refers to rulers or authorities. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. Why do not we have to fight against the flesh and blood, but yes, against the principles, against the powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. Why were all things created in him? Be they thrones, be they dominions, be they principles, be they powerful. They can be good angels at the service of God, or fallen angels who rebelled. So when Paul mentions our fight against these powers, he refers to the evil spiritual forces that act in the world. The principles seem to govern in some way over regions, nations, or groups, influencing decisions. 6. Potestades. In Greek, potestades comes from ousiai, a term that can also be translated as authorities. Just as it happens with principles, potestades can refer to both heavenly beings, who serve God, and fallen angels, who exercise dominion in specific areas. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 10. So that now, through the church, the multiform wisdom of God is known to the principles and potestades in heaven. Romans chapter 8 verse 38. Because I am sure that neither death nor life nor angels nor the principles nor the potestades can separate them from the love of God. They can be good or evil spiritual forces, depending on the context. Paul shows that even the highest spiritual powers cannot separate the saved from the love of God. 7. Powers. Although related to the potestades, the powers, Greek dunamis, emphasize the capacity or force of action. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 22. Which having ascended to heaven, is on the right hand of God. To him are subject angels, authorities, and potestades. Powers can also indicate specific manifestations of the wisdom of God, or the action of angels that hold attributions of force, be it for judgment or protection. These powers act in the celestial sphere and subordinate to Christ after his resurrection. 8. Domains. Greek kuriotes, refer to lords or governments. Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. Because in it were created all things that are in heaven and on earth, be it thrones, be it dominations, be it principalities, be it potestades. They indicate hierarchical structures established by God to maintain order in the spiritual world. As in the earthly world, there are structures of command in heaven. 9. Thrones, in Greek tronoi, are also mentioned in Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. Some associate the thrones with the idea of judgmental places, or seats of authority in heaven. Thrones represent supreme authority among celestial beings. They can be seen as spiritual entities that exercise government. Thrones indicate a sphere of elevated authority, subordinated only to the throne of God. It is as if each angelic order had its place, where God grants specific responsibilities, and the thrones occupy a prominent position as regards divine justice. Conclusion. From the splendor of the seraphim who cry out, "Holy, holy, holy," passing through the powerful figure of Michael as archangel, to the complex powers and principalities that influence whole nations, we realize that the spiritual world is incredibly organized and active. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 21 states that Jesus is above all principality and power and domain. This places each angelic hierarchy in its proper place. All are subject to Christ, the King of Kings. Christ is the ultimate authority over everything that exists. No angel, however high it may be, can compare to the Son of God, who reigns sovereign. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 4 to 6. More than mere curiosity, understanding this structure can strengthen our understanding of how great the kingdom of God is, and how celestial beings play specific roles in the execution of the divine plan.